This is going to be an invite match. And we're going to be watching Shade. He's actually starting on crits at the beginning of this match. We scrimmed against them. They ran a lot of crits, so I think crits is kind of part of their like just their aura, you know, their persona. They like to play hard and fast and aggressive and put you kind of in an uncomfortable spot. Unfortunately, they're getting to mid with no advantage, so their rollout was not ideal, so that's bad. You notice there was a couple seconds there where Shade lost the heal beam on people, so that's what led to that. There, I think both his scouts were like pushed left. The soldier jumped him from right, and Shade was just kind of out in the open. Didn't really see the soldier coming, so I guess they didn't have a call that the roamer was on the right. Otherwise, if Shade saw that guy, he probably would have got a nice surf out of there. But he died on the mid. The enemy team just popped. They're going to lose this mid, so Shade's going to be holding back. But the Uber's at least going to be even here. Their demo just died late, so most likely Shade's going to be positioning himself really far back so that he can't get caught. But Shade should know the Uber situation right now, so he's not like super afraid, but as long as they build, they should be just fine. So like he's healing up Blank. He's kind of close, but what he's waiting for is to see the very first person on the enemy team that's going to push so that he can evaluate whether he actually needs to run away. Because like this distance to this distance, Shade can easily run all the way back here if necessary. Looks like he's just going to back it all the way up, because once he starts getting closer to the Uber, that's when the enemy suicides might start coming in. So he's just going to back it up. So we're just going to watch to see what happens to Shade. Fast forward this a little bit. So it looks like, sounds like there's a fight happening on the flank. They pick the scout. Blank wants to go on that one pick. He sees the enemy combo. So he actually managed to get the force out. And now he's trying to pressure the flank with the rest of the Uber. Shade knows that his Uber is fading away, so he's just going to run away, get behind that corner. A lot of medics, what they do is they get caught with their Uber draining, and it forces them to die. Alright. So now he knows that it's Scout and Soldier alive, so he's kind of being cautious moving forward. Looking around a little bit. No one here, it would seem. The enemy team got full spawns. He shouldn't expect to have too much of an ad right now. So they're probably going to stalemate here unless Blank is feeling very confident. I don't think they should know that they have a 30 ad. But what they're going to do is they're just going to pressure and see if they get a pick. Because if they do get a pick right now, they can just snowball that. So Blank did get a pick on the roamer. I don't like that they Ubered Blank there, because Blank was really weak, which forced Shade to pop here. If Blank just would have rotated somewhere else and Shade healed someone who was healthy, I don't think they would have had to pop to take middle there. And now they're just getting countered Ubered on, but Shade knows that the enemy team has Uber, so he's positioned pretty far back. Oh, he gets surprised by this Ranga. He's just spinning around, but there it was the lack of a scout near him, which is going to be happening all season when you have Sizer on scout. So get used to it, Shade. And now they got wiped. So Shade was kind of back. He was safe when the Uber came in, but then they got a little bit cocky, I'd say, and they tried to like peek, and they should have just backed it up and repushed with the Uber advantage. That soldier ended up surprising them. So now Shade knows they're at a huge disadvantage. They have the sentry gun though. They like to hold forward because, again, if they're peeking this door, there's almost no way that the enemy team can surprise you with an Uber, because you can see them coming around this corner. You can see them coming past this corner. So they got this call, and then, you know, they can back all the way up and get out safely. So Shade's expecting the Uber to come in from right, it would seem, maybe? No? Okay, the Uber came in left. It's popped. He's going to move towards the right. Oh. So he reacted to the second rocket. If I were like watching Shade in his prime, he would have seen that soldier or known he was coming in before that, and he would have surfed the first rocket, I guess. But did his best to survive despite the soldier getting in for free. Not really much you can do as a medic there. Thanks, SOS. Alright, not watching tag here. Once again, Shade is at like, it's at like a 10% disadvantage because it's like these small areas where he's not healing are actually putting him at a slight disadvantage. Kind of interesting. Could potentially make the difference in some fights. Once again, here they have both their scouts on left and their soldier on right. Shade takes some damage, so they're getting out. But they kill the enemy med. I would assume they're going to re-push this. They have Sizer, I think, forward, peeking. He's just trying to see what he can do, but he gets picked. Shade trusting his team there, so he's staying near them. He's going to wait for his pocket, then they're going to go to middle, I'm pretty sure. And right now he's just kind of sitting back, I guess, because he wants to have like sufficient numbers around him so that he can't get forced. He's actually going house. It looks like they're faking the lower push with blank, and then they're trying to go in through house. So he's really just pocketing the demo. You need a scout around you if you're going to be pocketing the demo like this, so that's really important. Whew, down to 6 HP. Both his scouts, again, are over here when they get flanked by a soldier from the right, so something's going on with their scouts, like not clearing out everything for their combo, which I think is making his life very difficult. He's also being a little bit stubborn with this lower entrance. Like, I feel like they're just forcing their way in here through spam and everything when they could rotate Shade out through this back door, get in with more space, or he could come in upper after they've baited all the spam to lower. You know, I feel like Shade could be getting in here without popping. How do you go third person in demos? Just spacebar. So here Shade's trying to heal his team as much as possible, but from a safe position. Again, one of the biggest tips I can give you as a medic is do not go into a spot just because your teammates are there if it's dangerous, like if it's risky. If it will get you killed to follow your teammates, I would say don't go there. So Shade has the discipline to know he can't just follow his teammates, you know, and just be with them, because there's always the chance that they'll die or, you know, slightly overextend. But they have the mobility, you know. A scout can run away, soldier can jump out, a demo can defend himself. A medic caught out, like if Shade would have just been healing right here, he probably would have died. So he was making sure to be out, you know, where it's safe for him. So now that it's even Ubers, Shade's probably just going to be sitting back expecting a roamer bomb. So he's going to play inside the doorways so that the moment he sees that soldier, look at how far back he is. That soldier's nowhere close. So that's just, you know, understanding kind of the basic flow of the game, that during a stalemate, a roamer is usually going to come for you. Here it's okay for them to pop because, oh, alright, the medic dropped. It was okay for them to pop because they were going to get a second kill. Usually Uber disadvantage can be offset by 2 kills, more or less. Even if they didn't get that kill, Shade was still like right here. Shade wasn't like all the way deep. So Shade would have run away. If that soldier didn't die, or if the enemy team popped, Shade would have been able to escape. Because Shade was here and he was keeping track of where the enemy medic was, which is really crucial for knowing if you need to run away post-Uber or not. If the enemy medic's running and not really close to like punish you, then you can keep taking the space that they give you. So here there's a spy. Pretty good timing for the spy, honestly. He just beefed the stab. So looks like they know they have slight ad because the other medic died before that before popping on that last push. So they're gonna try and get in on this, but it's gonna be close. So they need to get kills. If they don't get kills, Shade's gonna be backing up. Yeah, he's starting to back up. Please, Shade. Dante! He should have run away a lot sooner. Like, they weren't killing anybody, and he should have known that the enemy team was close to Uber, so he should have at least been like right here. and like trying to get vision on how the enemy team was playing. If it looked like they were confident knowing they were going to get Uber, you back up. If they look like they're kind of scared and they're backing into a corner, then maybe you can, you know, keep staying here. But I don't like how he recommitted to this area. I think he lost track of the Uber situation there. Especially after their Uber didn't get in clean. Like, that's when you need to start thinking about your exit. If he got in there, they killed that soldier like immediately, everyone was still full health, maybe he can push up. But if not, you gotta be thinking about getting out. So here, once again, the enemy team has Uber. He's just sitting where it's safe for him. His teammates know if they want to get healed, they kind of got to come back to him. There's some fighting going on, and they got a pick, so Shade's a little bit more confident to kind of peek out here, because the enemy team's obviously not just rolling them out. So Shade re-peeks. Sounds like there's like some control. His team is surely calling that, so Shade, now he's just doing some acrobatics. You know, if you're ever like a medic and you're like jumping off something, or you're on like a rooftop or on some dumb rail, a lot of times that can save you from like surprise flanks. Like, say some soldier bombs you and you're just in some weird ass position, it'll make it a lot harder for him to hit good rockets on you. Here they lost track of the roamer, so that was kind of the scout's job, I guess. But you know, Shade maybe could have had a little bit more awareness that the first rocket fired from the original by Connor to rocket jump, Shade should have turned around and like been looking around or spamming his jump key, even if he hadn't seen the soldier. I know Blank does run the original, but I think he knew exactly where Blank was, so he knew it wasn't Blank behind him. So he should have been aware of that, but his scouts probably should have been looking for that too. So now they're at slight disad, but this is, assuming they're going to get the force, which they do, and everyone gets out, they're going to have an easy job re-pushing here. So pockets trade. I think this should just be like a chariot Uber, but both scouts. But they're going alley. That scout's slightly overextended. He's probably going to die. Actually, he lives. Oof. Shade did something there that I don't like. He peaked like slightly ahead of his teammates, which was bad. I think he should be... I mean, Shade's really good at keeping up the pace of his teammates, but I think there he slightly overstepped. And I think because of that, he felt like he had to pop, because he was feeling all the spam that was coming onto his teammates right here. If he was like just a few steps behind them, that wouldn't have happened. I think he would have been able to milk that. So once again, Uber disadvantage, pretty similar to the last push that they were, or the last hold they were just on. But it looks like this time the other team's committed to holding last. So Shade's not going to get too close until, you know, he's within 20% of getting Uber. Because if he does get too close, the enemy team could just chase. They actually managed to pick a scout. They know where the sentry is now. I think they might want to Uber soldier demo in right now. Are they taking both soldiers? Okay, I don't know why Blank would just go in alone. I think he's just trying to kill the engineer. Tag kills the engineer. So again, I think they should send Tag now, because they got 2 picks. And there's no scouts, so that could be an easy bomb for Tag. They just should have had Habib spamming the sentry down. And Tag goes like way later after the scouts already spawned and they've already like stabilized. So the timing there was bad. I feel like whenever it's even numbers, whether it's 1 down, 2 down, whatever, you can always afford to sacrifice one more player in, even if you're on, like, only if you're on offense. Maybe if you're on defense, but kind of riskier if you're on defense. Ooh, Shade got flanked and killed. And again, he also got bombed by Connor there and got forced to pop. So it's the lack of, like, people, like, anticipating stuff like this, you know? Shade keeps getting caught out because people are just slipping through all the cracks. So now they're switching to crits. They managed to pick the other medic, but he's not really building. They're coming back to meet him, but he's only going to have a 25 advantage if he builds, ideally. Well, ooh, there's a scout way behind. Spawn camp Sizer. TY for make meal. What kind of name is that? Who the fuck is that? Alright, anyways, the crits is coming in. The other team has not been building well at all. And I don't think they have any idea this crits is coming because they're just playing really far back. So, what I think should happen for a push like this is you take a soldier, like if you're going to crits on the right, you take your soldier through like this doorway, you bomb him onto the shed, and then that way your team can get through because this roamer won't be a problem. So all that crits gets is the roamer. It could have gotten a lot more, but they were bombed and Shade was nearly killed. So now they're on defense essentially with crits. So we're going to see the other team push into them. All that they need to do though is get the force out of the enemy combo, get everyone out alive. This sniper will surely like force them to pop, and the trap. And then Shade can repush with huge advantage. Yeah, so actually they do pick tag. So if the enemy team set up properly to like kill them in a choke point when they're on crits, this could work because tag's dead, blank's dead, and they're running a sniper. So if I were this team, I would be very confident right now. Like I wouldn't be like running away. I guess they kited it, they dodged the crits, they knew it was coming. They opted to go for the dodge strat instead of the let's bomb them and wipe them strat, which I suppose is acceptable because now they can hopefully just push in the middle. Sniper's dead. So yeah, the whole round started falling apart when they were running a sniper and then they critsed in, but then they lost a soldier. So that essentially put them down 2 combat classes, created a huge opening that allowed the other team to push. And now Shade's just stuck on the back foot with crits, which is really bad. And now he's isolated once again with nobody on his team to defend him. There should be a scout there. There has to be. That's really not Shade's fault. I would have been there for Shade. I would have been there. So right now they're debating whether they go in. They're 4 combat classes up versus 2, but the enemy team has heals. Looks like they're just going to hold.
Come on, man.
Shade once again at slight disadvantage. So the problem that's been happening is Shade has not been well, they keep losing people. They never have a clean retreat, so Shade's forced to like use all his Ubers like really defensively or run crits defensively. He's just like running away the whole time. But they're actually going to get the Uber here. So what they should do is actually play confident here, because I have a feeling that Sin6 is going to pop early. Oh, Blank died. That should never happen. Slemnish died. Why? God damn it, man. Now they're holding last. Alright, that was kind of a bad pop, because the enemy team really didn't like full commit with that Uber. I feel like Shade shouldn't have had to pop there. Someone should have been with him to deny that soldier. So they're just going to try and push in here. They have 2 picks on a pocket and scout. So someone, yeah, Sider just plows through the flank, kills the demo. Now Shade shouldn't have to worry about a trap. He's just worried about, I think, a soldier bombing. Oh, there's a back cap. The spy's on last. Slemnish is there. Oh, the spy's not on last. The roamer's on last. And the spy is about to try and stab Shade. Maybe. Yeah, here he comes. But Sizer might see him. So Shade shouldn't expect a spy right now. Let's see if they spot it. He cheats! Alright, they found the spy. Good for them. But this time they actually get into middle without popping. So that makes such a huge difference. I think that was one of the things that was really slowing down their pushes, was Shade was just like getting caught down in here in the chokes. Ooh, they thought they had ad maybe? So they just double Uber in, but Shade manages to get out, crazily enough. One thing you'll notice that Shade did there was when he Ubered in, he was like almost next to his players, because he was expecting to go really deep on that Uber, because I think he thought he had advantage. He must have lost track of the Ubers. But if they were really close and they were at disad on the other team, then he could have really got in deep because he was right next to his players. A lot of medics, what they do when they're trying to like take Ubers in deep, is they're like sitting back like this. So your teammates get the Uber around the corner, and then you're like chasing them and they're too far away. So what Shade does really well is he like, if he knows he's going really deep with the Uber, he keeps up with his teammates. He keeps up the pace. That's really important. And that way fewer people get dropped. See, look at this. Shade's not just going to sit on the point. He's trying to like keep up with this scout because he knows that the enemy team is like slightly overextended, but they managed to get out. I feel like that was popped a little bit early. Like, it was good that he followed his scout, but if there was no one like here, he shouldn't have popped because there's just no one to kill. I don't know. If he turned the corner and he saw like 4 of them sitting right here, I would have popped that for sure. Am I reviewing because Shade requested? No, Shade didn't request me to watch this. Someone else requested it. And I suppose to educate, I don't know, just to have some fun, shake it up a little bit. Ooh, okay. Shade has advantage, so the other team's just throwing this round away. They just decided, we want to lose this round, so they pushed in at disad after losing a player, and now they lose the round. Tied up, 1-1. Long rounds here, boys. Eight minutes left in this. So this mid, he actually does get heals on his scouts. Let's see how big of a difference that makes. Seems to have made a big difference. I think they should keep that in mind. The first 2 mids, Shade was like on the ground healing his pocket and his demo and stuff. But this mid, he gave them a slight touch and then he got on his scouts. And it seems that they just rolled, so. So that was a reaction pop. He saw the sniper, he didn't want to risk dropping, so he just popped immediately. It's fine. They have huge advantage, and his scouts got in clean, so it works out pretty well. Which league of UGC is this? This is ESEA Invite, not UGC. Once again, he's not healing anybody. That's kind of bad. Like, sure, the Uber percentage is maybe negligible, but like the buffs that he's putting out in that time actually do matter because it will give his roamer more health if he sticks with the med. It'll give his scout more health if he delays, you know, things like that. So this mid, yet again, he's getting some heals on his scouts. Let's see how that works out for them. They get 1 kill. They get 2 kills. Now it's just Sizer and Habib. I think they can win this because of positioning. The only problem is Sizer needed to either push out the scout or the soldier that jumped in so that Habib could keep the heals out, and then they would have won that mid. I'm pretty confident. Shade died? Ooh. Alright, close PugChamp because I don't want to hear that sound again. So Shade has just spawned. They're at full Uber disadvantage. But the enemy team, with their medic and demo, just capped middle, which to me would be like a sure sign that we can get out to second and at least get the force on second. Someone says Shade died at 94%. See, if he was healing on the full rollout, he would have had Uber. Something to keep in mind. But they need to get the force here on second, or it would be ideal. They are making some time by spamming and building, and they might actually get this Uber for last. It's going to be really close. They have the sentry, so now they're 10 seconds off Uber. That's one thing I would always call as a medic, is if I'm at 75%, I'll say, all right, we're 10 seconds off Uber. You know, just buy me 10 seconds. That's all I need. And he doesn't get 10 seconds. He dies to Connor. But the entire team died to get Shade, and now they're going to wipe. So, successful hold. Unfortunate, though, for Shade that he did not get Uber. Did not survive. But, I don't know, man. A death like that, I feel like one thing that does happen to Shade, it seems a lot this game, is he's only seeing the roamer when he's on him. Like, Shade's not... He's not looking around as much. His awareness of where the roamer is not that great. And his teammates aren't denying him or keeping track of him or whatever. So it's one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed with, seeing Shade die to over and over again. Here I don't like how he's ahead of his teammates. Being only down tag, I feel like they should hold this still. They just decided to rotate through inner, which is kind of risky in my opinion, because this whole time that they are rotating inner is like 5 seconds when the enemy team could just push in for free and then you're locked out. I think it would have been better for them to rotate across the front, so at least they still have a presence here and the heals can still get out to his team. Soldier jumped in. Looks like a bait, so he needs to be careful about the roamer, who is currently in. Shade's really far back now, just avoiding spam. Roamer dies, so he's confident to push. Now they're going to try and roll yard. They're going to sack a player, probably into them. Maybe see if they can get another pick. They're going to get both soldiers. Now Shade doesn't really want to pop, because now they've... Where the fuck? There was a trap right here, I think. Or he got knocked down. So Shade got dropped to a trap. Whew. Whew. Anyways, if I were Shade there, I would not want to go in here. Because this is like the narrowest doorway on the entire map. It actually is. If I were Shade and I had both their soldiers dead, I wouldn't want to be like putting myself in a confined area where if I get focused, I might, you know, die. I would rather be out here in the open where I have tons of space to move around. I can see everything very clearly, you know? So that would have been probably how I would have preferred to see Shade move there with both their soldiers dead. He wouldn't drop if I were on the team. That's right, I would have checked the trap. I would have seen it. Alright, this... Oh my god. He pushed into Connor's bomb. But I guess he was confident because he had the heavy there. But at least that time he saw Connor coming from a mile away. Here they have huge ad. But this TY for Make Meal, man. This guy is just always making some chaos happen on the flank. Just picked off their demo and scout. This is a bit risky. If Blank goes for this, this is potentially a lost round. He has to kill 2 people. Alright, he gets the pocket. Where's the medic at? He gets the demo. Okay, they get 3 picks off that. But now they're walking into an Uber. They should be aware of that. But it's just scouts. They're very close. Shade sees that, so he's trying to run. He's trying to break the sight line as best as possible, use as many corners to his advantage to escape this. Because that's like the only way to run away from scouts, is if you can use like corners and things like that. Where's Tag? Tag! Help me! Tag! Tag! What? 20 seconds left. God damn, man. That was actually a very unnecessary risk. With 20 seconds left, they're actually going to lose this round. with 20 seconds left in the half, there was absolutely no reason to push into middle. Absolutely no reason. Like, why would... I don't know, man. I guess it's like they're down 3. But, like, if they're this close, you should just hold second. They're down 3, man. Just buy your time. Force them here. Retreat. Turtle last. Because you're not going to win a round on Metalworks in less than a minute. It's never going to happen. So that was just a bad match. Like, you know how they say there's, like, test-taking skills? That was bad match-playing skills. And I feel like Shade should have learned that by now. After so many years, he should have known. Well, that's all the time that I have for this demo. Shade played okay. Not his best, I'll be honest. Died to the roamer a few too many times. Sometimes it wasn't his fault. That Uber drop, also questionable. Could have just gone through yard. Not a lot of, like, really nice escapes or arrows or anything, really. It was just kind of like... I feel like Shade was just playing with his team that game. Not really much he could do. There were a few good things, a few subtle things here and there, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have time for. So hopefully that was somewhat insightful and you enjoyed it.